everyone, welcome to this episode of Enhanced. My name is Holly Legg, or better known as Enhanced by Holly on Instagram. I'm coming to you from the headquarters of Midwest Laser Center. Midwest Laser Center, where all the magic obviously happens with injectables, as well as a variety of other procedures that we offer here. So today I wanted to talk to you all about types of filler. Okay, so I get this question quite a bit. Obviously, there's a variety of places that we use filler on the face. Okay, but the thing is, lots of people sort of ask, well, what's the difference between this filler versus that filler? Why can't I put that filler in, say, a cheek as well as a lip? And variety of other questions in regards to sort of the type of filler. So the first thing I wanted to touch on was, number one, the types of filler differ because they are being placed in different places in the face. And that's important because one area requires possibly more structure than another area. Specifically, what I'm referring to is, say, a cheek and or a temple. That's going to require a higher level of like cross linkage in regards to the hyaluronic acid. So essentially, that filler is more structurous and technically a harder substance. So that sort of filler would be placed in areas that require more volumization and structure, like picking up tissue, right? Like let's say we're having a heavy nasolabial and marionettes down in these regions. If we were to place a very luminous filler throughout this hemisphere, it wouldn't do a whole lot, right? Like, I mean, we need something that's going to pick up the tissue, especially if we're having issues with deep lines sort of in the nasolabial marionette lines and or breaks in the skin, such as here when the bag or the hollows of the temples, the tear troughs kind of stream down here and causes a break in the skin. Well, if we're actually filling up the apples in the cheek a little bit, touching things up and picking up structure and tissue, it'd be very, very difficult to achieve that with a really loose sort of filler, okay? So that's the first thing to talk about, is the fact that structurous filler sort of resides in areas that need to pick up tissue, as opposed to, say, lip filler, which is going to be more luminous, more water-like. Because imagine, again, if we put a really structurous, harder filler into the lip, and then your lips would be hard. We don't want them to be hard. We want them to be natural. We want them to be luminous and watery and just sort of that luxurious look where it's a soft pillow, as opposed to a really hard looking lip where they're stuck there or really firm. So that is sort of the differences and the reasons why there are different types of filler, and they sort of go on a spectrum. Like we have, you know, the most luminous, the most liquidy, all the way up to the most structurous, and then there are ones in the middle for other areas, such as the nasolabial lines, which would require, say, filler, but not something super watery or luminous, but not something super structurous either, because we want something in the middle. So that's why they make a variety of different types of fillers, so that we can sort of accommodate the different areas so it feels natural. Because if you put a really structurous filler into this area, you for sure would notice that it's really hard, and you wouldn't want it hard there either. So it's a fine balance of figuring out which type of filler is good for you. The other question I get a lot of the time is, well, can we do half of the syringe in the cheek? So let's say like a quarter of a syringe, and then half in the lip. Well, it goes back to what we just spoke about, how they are not the same sort of filler. So the answer to that is no. It may vary if someone wanted, say, half a syringe in the lip and they also wanted a little bit into the nasolabial folds. That's a little bit more, I guess, achievable, because those fillers are more similar, right? But no, if you want some in your cheek as well as some in the lip, those are different fillers. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So for that, I would say, no, not usually. Like, we don't usually split up, say, one syringe and do, say, a cheek and a lip. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But if it was, say, a marionette or a nasolabial and you wanted a little bit into the lip, yeah, that's a more achievable circumstance or situation. The other question is, can I share the filler? So this is a really interesting question that I get a fair amount of the time. So someone's like, well, I only want to try a quarter of a syringe and a quarter of a syringe in the cheek. Can I give the other half of the syringe to, say, my best friend? She also wants to try it. I totally understand this. Either it's budget based, you're sort of wanting to maybe save, you're also trying to establish whether or not the cheek filler thing is ideal for you, if you even want to do it. So it's a variety of sort of circumstances, I'm not sure. But the answer to that is no, we don't share syringes at Midwest Laser Center. In fact, even if we were to distribute, say, half the syringe into a different syringe and it's keeping sterility, the point is we don't save filler, because when we are opening up a syringe, exposing it to the air, and now moving that filler into different syringes to keep sterility intact, it's still open to air, and that still has risk associated with it. So generally speaking, that is not a practice that we would do at Midwest. So sharing of syringes is a no-no. So I just wanted to sort of say, nah. And then in regards to saving that syringe, so let's say we've injected the lip or the cheek and you're wanting to save half the syringe. Still the answer is no, we can't save it, because again, it's either been in your face where we've done some aspiration, and blood obviously being a part of that situation, it's not sterile anymore. It's not safe to keep those sorts of things on the shelf. It's not safe to do that. And even if we did, again, put it into separate syringes, keeping the sterility intact, the point is it's not good to save filler, because again, it's been exposed to the air. So we've just decided, that is not a practice that we're going to do here. And essentially saving of things and sharing of items, not something that we obviously offer. We do offer, however, a half syringe as an option. So if you're interested in having a half syringe, say in the lip, we do have something for that $350 range for that half syringe. That is an option if you're not wanting to invest in a full syringe. However, mind you, one syringe sounds really scary, right? Because one syringe, what does that mean? It's actually 1 mil. So if you were a baker or if you were in the kitchen at all, 1 mil is a small amount, and half a mil is even a smaller amount than that. So remember that half syringe equates to a half a mil and one syringe equates to 1 mil. So I sort of wanted to go over those types of fillers with you. I hope that was a little bit helpful in regards to exchanging of fillers in different areas, as well as sharing, as well as saving, as well as the amounts. So if you have any questions for me, obviously you can always message me on my Instagram, or you can get in contact with Midwest Laser Center on Instagram as well. Shan, is always available for your questions, or you can visit us online at www.midwestlasercenter.com, where there's a ton of information about fillers, Dysport, Botox, Beauty Booster, anything in the injectable realm. We're always looking forward to seeing you guys. So if you're interested in booking a free consult, you can contact the office at 668-5522. We're always looking forward to hearing from you, ladies. And of course, you can also book online on our online booking system, again, at the website at www.midwestlasercenter.com. So I'm going to be signing off today. I really hope that the types of fillers on this enhanced episode sort of resonated with some of you, or helped you along your way or making decisions. I know how hard it is to sort of invest in a procedure or a treatment that you're not 100% about. And I know a ton of you tell me how helpful these videos are with sort of just grounding you in understanding about what it is exactly that is happening with the injectables. And I know that it can be confusing. So if you ever have questions at all, just message me. I know a ton of you already do. So thank you so much for your support always. We're looking forward to seeing you at Midwest Laser Center, the most luxurious Medi-Spa in Saskatoon. So make sure that you're tagging us and letting us know how you're feeling about all the procedures that we're providing. So I'm signing off for today. Stay tuned for the next episode of Enhanced.